Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about Farron Cousins. Alright? Because this motherfucker is on such a, ego trip that he doesn't even realize when his own personal bias is standing in the way of actually being able to do his fucking job. Alright? So let's go ahead and clarify something. Alright, so let's go over all the years of reporting the Trump shit. Alright? So, factors that, Farron Cousins conveniently ended up going ahead and leaving out. So, when it come down to the whole hush money thing, alright, the factor that he had been missing was the factor that, ultimately, Michael Cohen and Michael Avenatti were co-conspirators to go ahead and burglarize Trump. Going ahead and trying to take money out of his fucking account. The whole dereliction of fiduciary duty thing, because, wanting to go ahead and be the representative of the financial trust needed to go ahead and prevent any type of breaches of the Hatch Act or the emoluments clauses. When he was in office. Yeah. So that factor right there ended up going ahead and clarifying, that right there, that kind of ends up going ahead and saying, yeah, there would be plausible deniability about, any actual direct involvement, which might end up going ahead and affecting the capability of prosecution. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about the Matt Gaetz and Joel Greenberg thing they wanted to go ahead and say about because of their magically being an ad. All right, character assassination. All right, hey, just so you know, you're reporting on July 5th, 2024. Yeah, you didn't make any, you didn't use the word allegedly, all right? Which leads you into a whole bunch of litigatory, exposure. Because, all right, first off, what direct, actual connection is there between Joel Greenberg and Matt Gaetz? Which, by the way, Joel Greenberg had been declared a uncredible witness a long while ago. All right? Not to mention that. But ultimately, I had been following the Matt Gaetz thing just as intently too. All right? As well as the other people running against him in that district. Why? Because Farron Cousins has openly admitted the factor of, him not liking Matt Gaetz, him having a personal grudge from Matt Gaetz because of the fact that they went to school together, and ultimately, he's probably one of the biggest fucking hypocrites with a camera imaginable. Because he complains about, Eileen Cannon, going ahead and being biased in Trump's favor and all that, while simultaneously, he's not recognizing his own bias, while simultaneously going ahead and leading America's lawyer, Mike Pompitonio's firm, completely open to getting a fucking defamation suit that'll go ahead and bitch slap the fuck out of him. All right? Oh, another thing. Farron Cousins ended up going ahead, too, and claiming that Matt Gaetz had asked to use his studio. I wasn't able to find anything about that. And the funny thing is, ultimately, there are a lot of times because of the amount of being on the road, or, doing interviews or going ahead and talking about legislation and policy, that a lot of times politicians don't get to directly be in their district. They're having to go ahead and campaign midway through their fucking term because of the fact that ultimately you got this giant dog pile of everybody wants your job. But everybody also realizes that you're going to be the asshole that gets hated because of the factor of it seeming like there's a complete, total, constant gridlock, because of unwillingness to reach across the fucking aisle. All right? And not mentioning the factor, too, that the people that are going against Gaetz, yeah, if you go ahead and do a background check on each one of those individuals, they are fucking horrible. Like, Gates is actually the least of the evils in that circumstance. You know? But the fucked up thing is, ultimately, Gates himself, he's more of a product of, his father's success. What his father wanted. Did you ever think that maybe Gates might have been a fucking hostage of his father? Of his father wanting to destroy any other career prospects other than the one that would go ahead and continue the Gates legacy. You said it yourself. When prosecutors end up going ahead and being too close or having too, intertwined interests, that ultimately they need to recuse themselves because that could end up going ahead and causing a mistrial. So when it comes to reporting and your own personal bias being in the factor, all right, while trying to, anonymously assassinate his character, all right, because I don't know, Farron Cousins, if you were really an investigative reporter, you'd be able to find out who, behind that pack wanted to go ahead and, just try to create a hearsay like a triangulation type situation. But how many charges was Joel Greenberg attempting to get acquitted on? That might tell you everything you need to know. But no, you are totally impartial enough to be able to report on him going forward. Absolutely.